Welcome in to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, where we discuss, examine, honor, and celebrate all things college football across the entire landscape, but with a special emphasis on our beloved black and gold squads of the Missouri Tigers and the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's great to be back with you. I am your host, Blair Parks. Holla at you, boy. Just wanted to come back and say, before we get started, I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a very happy winter solstice. Don't want to forget that one. So no matter how you celebrated or if you didn't celebrate, I hope you enjoyed your time with family and friends. And for all the kids, I hope Santa was more than generous. He absolutely was here in the Parks residence. But it's great to be back with you. I have a very special episode lined up today for you, as I will be giving you my in-depth preview of the 2022. That's right, New Year's Day is just right around the corner. A preview of the 2022 Citrus Bowl between our beloved Iowa Hawkeyes and the Kentucky Wildcats. It's crazy. I love this week between Christmas and New Year's. Obviously, I'm feeling very festive. First time I've broken out, this sweater. It was a gift from my sister-in-law, Tracy. Absolutely love it. I'm giddy. New Year's Day is almost upon us. Here I am. I'm recording this episode today on Wednesday, December 29th. Can't wait for the bowl games. The big-time bowl games are about to kick off. They are right around the corner. But it's great to be with you. I can't wait to give you an in-depth preview of this bowl game. But before that, I do need to give you, the Black and Gold family, all the viewers, a huge shout out and much love. Because last week, if you watched it, I did do an in-depth preview of the 2021 Armed Forces Bowl between our beloved Missouri Tigers and the Army Black Knights. And that episode set a brand new record on this channel, the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. We received 100 views in just under 2 days. And as of this morning, that total is at 121. Great job. Kudos to you. That's a new record. But now that we've set the bar kind of high, I like this episode to reach that plateau, if not do a little bit better as well. So thank you for everything you do. Without you, this would not be possible. I appreciate and thank you for your support, your time, everything. And before, I always encourage any likes, any shares, any comments. Smash the subscribe button. Anything you can do to get the word out there, to keep the ball rolling, to expand the Touchdown Black and Gold universe, that would be excellent. So feel free. And I always want comments. Whether tell me if I'm doing good, if I'm doing bad, doing ugly. Wah, 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 wah. Let me know. If there's something I've forgotten or something I have completely botched, call me out on it. Let's just comment and act like adults. That's all. If you want to call me a dirty SOB, you can do that in the privacy of your own home and your thoughts. No need to put that online, but just let me know how I'm doing. And if there's any subjects or anything I've missed, I would absolutely love, it would bring me pleasure to bring that on air in front of you, the Black and Gold family. So thank you once again to all of you who watched last week's special episode of the Armed Forces Bowl preview. Now, the Citrus Bowl, happening on New Year's Day. First and foremost, knock on wood here. Hopefully we get there. And I saw this, I prognosticated this, I foretold it a couple weeks ago, that I definitely expected a few more bowl games to be affected and altered by the uptick in COVID-19. Especially the new variants, Delta and Omicron. They are absolutely exploding across the nation. And since that first bowl game that was altered, the Gator Bowl between Texas A&M and Wake Forest, A&M has pulled out. And luckily, a new opponent has been found for Wake Forest. That'll be the Rutgers Scarlet Knights out of the Big Ten. Excellent. But we've seen so many more bowl games altered and affected, new matchups, new teams, and some that have been outright canceled. Now, those I will absolutely give you the update on tomorrow's episode. Coming out tomorrow, early afternoon, late afternoon, will be my part 3 of 3 of my bowl bonanza, my preview and predictions of the remaining bowl games that will take place December 30th and after. So that'll include every bowl game on New Year's Day, the New Year's Six, and the college football playoff semifinals. So definitely make sure to tune in tomorrow to check out my final bowl bonanza blowout episode of bowl season 2021-2022. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Citrus Bowl preview. So this game will be kicking off January 1st down in Orlando, Florida, between number 15 Iowa, that comes in with a record of 10-3, 7-3 in conference, which regular season was 7-2. They did advance to the Big Ten title game. They represented the Big Ten West as champions, but lost in the Big Ten title game to Michigan. And number 22 Kentucky, the Wildcats, come in with a record of 9-3, 5-3 in conference play. Currently, Kentucky sits as a 3-point favorite for betting lines in Vegas. And right now, the over-under is set at 44. So, but, just to throw a little bit of shade and maybe do a shot fired, hopefully prior to kickoff, the SEC can notch a bowl victory. The mighty SEC, why do I say that? They currently sit 0-4 in bowl season. And by my expectations and what I see happening, the next game up for the SEC is tomorrow's Duke's Mayo Bowl between South Carolina and North Carolina. I believe quarterback from North Carolina, Sam Howell, has not opted out. He will play. So I think it will be absolutely difficult for South Carolina to win that game. So the SEC is looking at an 0-5 start, dead in the eyes, right in the face. So I definitely will talk more about that tomorrow during the updated storylines and headlines about the conference starts to bowl season. But right now, the mighty SEC, where it just means more, 0-4. That's not me being a hater. It's just fact. That's where they are. So, the Citrus Bowl. Let's get back to it. So, initially, when I saw this matchup, when it was released that it was Iowa and Kentucky, I was a little surprised, but not really. I knew it was going to be Iowa and either Texas A&M or Kentucky. So when I officially saw the news break that this was the official matchup for our Iowa Hawkeyes, I was and still am very excited by this matchup. And here's why. These are two teams that have very similar styles, the way they want to win, how they execute, their game plans, their keys to victory. They almost mirror each other. And there's a good reason why that is. When you look at both sidelines in this ball game, whether it's the Kentucky sideline or obviously the Iowa sideline, there is Iowa grassroots abundant. The storylines about the coaching staff and the ties to the University of Iowa Hawkeye program is in an abundance during this game. If you don't know, Coach Mark Stoops, who has done a tremendous job at the helm of Kentucky, he has made them a staying power. They have been slow and steady, winning 7-8 games every year, getting to the postseason. That's a lot like our Iowa Hawkeyes. Same thing, 7, 8, 9 wins a season, get to a bowl game every year, but occasionally have a 10-win season or better, such as this season. That's why both of these programs, they really mirror each other based on their expectations as well. And Mark Stoops has done an excellent job at the helm of Kentucky. But to go more in depth, Coach Mark Stoops, just like his brother Bob Stoops, who most of you recognize that name legendary coach at Oklahoma who won a national title, actually who is going to be on the sideline tomorrow in an interim position at the helm of the Oklahoma Sooners tomorrow, which is excellent. I can't wait to see that bowl game tomorrow. That both Mark and Bob Stoops not only played at the University of Iowa once upon a time, but they started their coaching careers at Iowa as well under legendary Hawkeye coach Hayden Fry. So there is so many ties right now between these programs and the University of Iowa football team. And even more, Mark Stoops the thing that really blows my mind is Kirk Ferentz, who also was on the Iowa coaching staff at the time under Coach Hayden Fry. He actually was involved very deeply in recruiting and getting Mark Stoops to come play at Iowa. So there is so much familiarity between these programs, these coaches. I absolutely love this matchup because of that, but something's got to give. Who can execute better? Who can beat the other team at their same own game? I can't wait to see how this one plays out. So looking at the best wins, when you look at the schedules and the outcomes of both Iowa and Kentucky, the best wins for Kentucky, 20-13, a victory over at the time number 10 Florida, probably is their best victory on the year, but also a very sound win at home over LSU 42-21, which yes, both of those programs, Florida and LSU, finished the season 6-6, but they are blue blood programs who still recruit at the highest of all levels. So those are two very good wins for Kentucky this season. And also they played number 1 Georgia very tough for 4 quarters. They did come out on the losing end. I believe the final score was 30-13. But at the time, other than the opening week, the 10-3 victory over Clemson, that was the closest anybody had come in SEC during the SEC regular season to defeating the Georgia Bulldogs. But we all know what happened in the SEC title game several weeks ago. Now for Iowa, their best wins, probably over number 4 Penn State at the time, 23-20, a huge moment for the Iowa program. And also maybe at number 9 Iowa State, who also fell a little bit flat under expectations, but that was a 27-17 victory. And probably overall, their best win potentially in the Big Ten was over 8-4 Minnesota, who actually improved to 9-4 after last night's bowl victory. Well done, Minnesota. The Big Ten off to a winning start for bowl season, 1-0 right now. So that's Iowa's best victories on the season as well. And some trends that we saw during the season from Iowa and Kentucky. At one point, both of these teams started 6-0, and they both rose very high and climbed very high in the AP rankings. Iowa at one time climbed all the way up to number 2 in the nation, and Kentucky, after starting 6-0, they climbed to number 11 in the nation. But then both of them went through some losing streaks. Iowa lost 2 in a row to Purdue and at Wisconsin, and Kentucky lost 3 in a row at Georgia, at home to Mississippi State, and at Tennessee. So they both had some highs during the season, but definitely experienced some lows as well. So that was some trends that we saw from Kentucky and Iowa during the season. Now, the last time we saw these two teams on the field, all right, it's been a while, especially for Kentucky. The last time we saw Kentucky was on the field was Thanksgiving weekend, the 27th of November, I believe is the date. And they absolutely crushed their in-state rival Louisville to the tune of 52-21, winning and securing and keeping the Governor's Cup. So it was definitely a very good outing we saw last time from Kentucky. Now for Iowa, it still pains me to bring it up. Still hurts, but I gotta say it. The last time we saw Iowa on the field was in the Big Ten title game, but we saw them get absolutely shellacked, beat down, boat raced, waxed, humbled, defeated. You could use several words. Add whatever word you want to in there. But we saw that happen. Michigan absolutely annihilated Iowa, 42-3, punching and securing their ticket into the college football playoff field. So definitely two different sides of the spectrum for what happened the last time we saw these two teams on the field. Now, big time matchups to watch during the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Day. I'm going to start off with overall just a general between both of these two ball teams. Both of these defenses are so evenly matched, it's going to be a matchup to watch. Let me just share these numbers with you on the season so you can see exactly what I'm referring to, how closely these defenses have mirrored each other. They're both very, very impressive defenses. On the season, Kentucky is allowing 219 passing yards per game. Iowa is allowing 213, so definitely very close there. Rushing yards per game, Kentucky is allowing 117 rushing yards per game to Iowa's 113 rushing yards per game. So right now we're looking at a total wash. I mean, these really cancel each other out. Now, points per game defensively during the season, Kentucky is allowing 22 points per game to Iowa's 19. So based on those stats, and stats do not lie, right now you cannot say that this defense is clearly better than the other or even has a slight edge. You can't. They completely cancel and void each other out. But I will say this. Based on Iowa's prowess this season to create and get turnovers, and I'll share those numbers with you here shortly, but based on Iowa's ability to do that, and Kentucky has been unable to do that, proper English there, I would give a slight thin edge to the Iowa defense overall. And like I said, I'll share those turnover numbers with you here shortly. Just tune in for that. So defenses, that's going to be a huge matchup to watch. Now, the other matchup to watch is going to be the QB battle between both of these squads. And I'm going to say this right now because it is fair. I am an Iowa fan first and foremost, but I try to be unbiased as possible. I don't believe I am a little Homer Simpson. I try not to be. But QB battle to me, on paper and from watching both of these squads, these are two teams I know a lot about. Watching them the last few years play Missouri, I've said this on several past episodes, I am a resident of the Show Me State. Missouri is my nearest Power 5 Division I football team. I root for them. I have a vested interest in Missouri. I have several friends and family who are fans and alums of Missouri, but obviously me growing up in Northwest Illinois, huge Hawkeye fan, but we both squads don the black and gold, hence the name of this channel. So I've watched a lot of Kentucky football and obviously a lot of Iowa football, so I know a lot about this. So watching the games, looking at the numbers, there is not really a quarterback battle. It's more of a quarterback disparity. And here's why. The Kentucky pass attack, led by quarterback Will Levis, who has really been a complete reformation and turnaround from last year. I'll expand on that here next. Will Levis, their quarterback, is averaging 225 passing yards a game compared to the Iowa quarterback attack. Whether it be Spencer Petras or Alex Padilla, Iowa is only mustering 177 passing yards per game. So obviously a big disparity in the passing attack between these two programs. Now back to Will Levis, and the reason why I say a complete turnaround, reformation is Iowa does have, and this might be something that is going to be a benefit for Iowa, is Iowa does have a little bit of familiarity with Will Levis. If you recall, he transferred to Kentucky from Penn State. Last year's matchup in Happy Valley, which Iowa dominated the Penn State Nittany Lions, Will Levis did get the start. He was very ineffective throwing the ball, but was pretty effective fleet of foot. He is more of an option type quarterback. He is fleet of foot. He can scramble. He can make things happen with his feet. He did have some success against the Iowa defense last year with his legs, but really had trouble slinging the ball via accuracy. But this season, he has absolutely thrived, definitely turned a corner. So that could benefit Iowa. They do have some familiarity with quarterback Will Levis from his Big Ten playing days. So that's going to be the other big-time matchup to watch, is the quarterback battle. How is it going to play out? As Iowa fans, we've seen what's happened this season. It has been an absolute struggle at times, but I've said this previous episodes. I'll say it again. It is unfair to put Iowa's offensive struggles clearly on the quarterbacks because their offensive line has completely not been up to par. They have been not up to snuff, especially via Iowa standards, the entire season. The O-line has absolutely struggled to protect the quarterbacks and open up legitimate running holes for the Iowa running backs this season. So it has been a shared blame as far as who is really clearly to blame for Iowa's offensive struggles this season. Cannot clearly and only be put on the quarterbacks. Now let's move on now to the game changers for both of these teams in this matchup. With Kentucky, you've got to start off with their stud running back, Chris Rodriguez Jr. He comes in, he's an absolute beast, an absolute bruiser. He comes into this game with 1,272 rushing yards, an average to the clip of 6.2 yards per carry. That's impressive. And the reason why that means a lot is these two teams, once again, play the same kind of style. They both want to dominate and control the lines of scrimmage. They both want to control pace of play offensively through their rushing attack, which then sets up some play action passing. So Chris Rodriguez is a bruiser. He is a load to tackle. Guy gets it done. And also, I got to say, kind of in a complimentary role, and definitely a guy who's going to make my all-name team, which I probably will unveil during next week's episode. Kavasier Smoke, running back from Kentucky, has also chipped in with 416 yards rushing on the season as well. He's more of their shifty, quick playmaker, but Chris Rodriguez is coming right up your nose when he gets the ball. So that's going to be the game changers for Kentucky, is their running backs. And the other big-time game changer for Kentucky is their stud wide receiver, Wandale Robinson. He comes into the game with 94 receptions for 1,164 yards. He is their leading receiver. He is their most dynamic player on the perimeter. Now, it will be tough to slow him down, but one thing, via good fortune, Iowa also has some familiarity with Wandale Robinson. If you recall, he transferred to Kentucky from Nebraska. He has faced Iowa before and vice versa. And if memory serves, Iowa did hold him in check. Now, you're not going to shut this kind of a caliber player out, but they just need to reduce the amount of his chunk plays. He will get his, but just don't give up the big chunk plays, big scoring plays on the game. Try to corral Wandale Robinson. So that familiarity definitely is probably going to aid Iowa, just like it will facing quarterback Will Levis. And it's going to be even more of an imperative for Kentucky to get Wandale Robinson going, but also for Iowa to keep him in check, because there is some big-time injury news for the Kentucky Wildcats. Both their number 2 and number 3 wide receivers are out for this game due to a automobile accident after the conclusion of their regular season. Not major injuries, but they are both out. So Wan'Dale Robinson will be the first, second, and third option in their passing attack on the perimeter. So how he goes really could dictate how this game goes. So those are the game changers for the Kentucky Wildcats that Iowa must take account for and be aware of. Now, the game changers for Iowa. The Iowa wide receiving core, they need to step up. They need to show up and show out to have a legitimate chance to win this matchup. It's even more imperative because, unfortunately, there is some opt-out news that highly affects this ball game. Iowa's stud running back Tyler Goodson announced several weeks ago after the Big Ten title game that he will forego his senior season, enter the NFL draft, and will not partake in this bowl game. So Iowa loses in this game their best dynamic, most explosive offensive player. For the season, Tyler Goodson did rush for over 1,100 yards, which is impressive, especially when you look at the trials, tribulations, and struggles of the Iowa offensive line that I referred to a little bit ago. So him getting those yards was impressive. I thought he would stay for one more season. I didn't quite think he had enough on tape to make the leap to the NFL, but I can't fault the guy for doing it. It makes total sense, and I wish him only the best of luck in the future, and thank you for everything you've done for our program. So the Iowa wide receiver core has to step up to kind of carry the torch and take the place of the production that's been vacated with Tyler Goodson sitting this bowl game out. Let me get a quick drink of water here. So Tyler Goodson's getting out, so the guys have got to step in behind him. Ivory Kelly-Martin, Gavin Williams, those cats will be the guys who will be rushing the ball primarily in his absence. They got to do what they can, but I really believe this game for Iowa will be won or lost on the perimeter. Other game changers for Iowa, I've got to say it's been a reoccurring theme all season. Their defense, but especially their special teams. The special teams for Iowa have to execute and not have any mistakes, any letdowns, nothing. Field goal kicker Caleb Shudak, who is 23 of 27 on the season, he must convert all of his field goal attempts. The opening drive of the Big Ten title game, for instance, Iowa received, drove the length of the field on Michigan, couldn't get it in the end zone, and Caleb Shudak missed a chip shot field goal. Iowa cannot afford to miss those scoring chances, especially with how challenged their offense has been throughout the season. He must come through. And the other guy, big time, a guy you know I love, I've mentioned him time and time again, week after week, game after game, is kick returner, specialist, Charlie Jones. He has to do whatever he can to improve Iowa's field position during this matchup. He has returned one kick this season, 100 yards. Will it take a kick return to beat Kentucky? Probably not. But if it happens, we'll absolutely take it as Iowa fans. But he has to do what he can to improve their field position. So Charlie Jones, all eyes will be on you. Another guy who's probably going to make my all-name team. I mean, Charlie Jones. How great is that for a name? So that is the game changers I have for you for the Citrus Bowl. Now, last thing I want to move into, ultimately, what are the keys to victory for each squad? So if Kentucky wins, if they do this, Iowa wins if they do this. So here are my keys to victory for both squads in this bowl game matchup. For Kentucky, for them to win, they need to control the lines of scrimmage, control the pace of play once again through their rushing attack. Also, their defense must live in the Iowa backfield. Time and time again, Iowa quarterbacks have been under complete duress, scrambling for their lives this season because the lackluster play of the Iowa line. If Kentucky can do that, if they keep pressure on the Iowa quarterbacks, blitz, and blitz some more, it will be a long day for Iowa. If Kentucky can do that, break through the Swiss cheese offensive line at times of Iowa during this game, Kentucky will win. It's as simple as that. That's all they really have to do. Keep pressure throughout. That's what they're going to want to do defensively against the Iowa passing attack. Also, Kentucky must force Iowa to become one-dimensional via the pass. If Iowa has to be one-dimensional, even whether it's rushing attack or passing attack, that bodes very well for Kentucky. I don't think Iowa can beat you just rushing the ball or just passing the ball. They must be balanced, and they must be able to do those things when they want to, not when they have to. And that's been really the goal and the way to beat Iowa all season. Force Iowa into throwing when they have to, not when they want to. And also, the last thing for Kentucky, what they need to do to secure a victory in the Citrus Bowl is they must limit their own turnovers. Coming into this game, Kentucky is -13 on the season in turnover margin. That is bad. To the tune of, that is third worst in the nation, in the country, in all of Division I football. So that tells you right there, Kentucky gives the ball away, but they don't really take it away either. So Kentucky must clean that up. Take care of the ball, your most prized possession, the football. That's going to help them pull out the victory over Iowa. So that is the keys to victory for the Kentucky Wildcats. Now the keys to victory for the Iowa Hawkeyes in this matchup. Iowa must convert all of their scoring opportunities, especially when their defense, which their defense will show up, they will play, they'll show up, they'll show out. As Iowa fans, we know what we expect, what we can expect from their defense. They will keep us in the game. They'll give us every opportunity to win. So when the defense gives Iowa's offense a short field especially, they must convert. Not only field goals, but get in the end zone. That has been, once again, a reoccurring theme all season for our Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa ranks near the bottom in all of Division I football in red zone efficiency. So that tells you right there. They get in the red zone, and they don't always come away with points. They must be more efficient with their opportunities on New Year's Day to win this ball game. Also, the Iowa offense has to get a little creative. And I'm looking at you, Iowa offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz, Coach Kirk Ferentz's son. We have to do something. We've had weeks now to prepare for this game. What have you thought of? What sort of wrinkles are you going to throw Kentucky's way? Iowa's offense must kind of reinvent and recreate themselves a little bit. Not a total 180. We don't expect Iowa in the time span of 3 weeks to become a spread team. We don't expect that. Or a high-powered, no-huddle offense. We don't expect or even probably want that. But they have to do something different. They have to get their perimeter players, their wide receivers involved, and they must give their quarterbacks, whether it's Alex Padilla or Spencer Petras, you must give them time to go through their rotations and throw the ball. You must give them time. Keep the pocket clean. Another big key victory for Iowa. Also, Iowa must try to gain some traction through the rushing attack via Ivory Kelly-Martin or Gavin Williams. Those boys have to step up for Tyler Goodson, who has once again opted out for this bowl game. And the O-line, I've already said, must give time for the quarterbacks to effectively have time go through their progressions, and deliver an accurate pass. They must step up in this game. And you know, Kentucky's defense is very aggressive. They will be coming and coming nonstop against the Iowa quarterbacks. Last thing, Iowa's defense, you must continue to be ball hawks. They led the nation this season in interceptions. Iowa coming into this game as a team, they are plus 13 in turnover margin throughout the season. And that is third best in the entire nation in Division I football. So here, turnover margin, as I said I would bring up, this is a huge disparity. I mean, you have tale of two cities, two teams on two separate spectrums of the scale. Kentucky coming in negative 13 in turnover margin, and Iowa coming in plus 13. So that tells you right there, Iowa creates turnovers and limits their own turnovers offensively. So if Iowa can do that, if they can create some turnovers, continue that trend by Kentucky on their season, that bodes very well for Iowa getting the victory in the Citrus Bowl. And the other thing, Iowa needs to try to force Kentucky, bait them, and force them into playing their ball game. Basically, it's going to be field position, good defense, sound special teams, and just converting on your offensive possessions. I love the t-shirts going through Iowa City. I need to get one. Is punting is winning. I love that. And what summarizes Iowa football better than that? Punting is winning. Love it. So that is my keys to victory for both Kentucky and Iowa in the 2022 Citrus Bowl. So that's it. That's my in-depth preview. Check out tomorrow's Bowl Bonanza Part 3 of 3 episode. I will give you my official prediction on the Citrus Bowl, who I see winning this ball game. Also during tomorrow's Bowl Bonanza Part 3 episode, I will supply you with the updated storylines and headlines, just a couple to share with you. Going to spend just a handful of minutes and moments on that. Definitely a big one via the transfer portal, especially because it definitely affects one of our beloved black and golds. And also, I'm going to give you tomorrow on the Bowl Bonanza Part 3 episode, my official commentary and reaction. I'm going to take about 5 minutes to share with you what I saw in the Armed Forces Bowl, which was a heartbreaking loss for our Missouri Tigers, 24-22 over Army. Very highly contested game. So I will share my commentary, analysis, and reaction on that bowl game with you as well during tomorrow's episode. But as of today, thank you very much for being with me. I appreciate everything you do. I thank you for allowing me to share my passion, my love of college football with you, the Black and Gold family. Moving forward, once again, I always ask for any likes, any shares, any comments. Feel free, hit that subscribe button. Let's get the word out there. Let's continue a good thing. And if I don't see you or talk to you, if you fail to watch tomorrow's episode, I like to wish all of you a very happy and safe New Year 2022. And once again, a very merry, happy, belated Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. So I will talk to you very soon. Look for tomorrow's episode. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, love, progress. Thank you for joining me on today's very special episode of the Touchdown Black and Gold Vlog. See you tomorrow.